Dog of TITHWAL by SAADAT HASAN MANTO. SAADAT HASAN MANTO was a writer, playwright, screenwriter, and journalist born to a middle class Muslim family in the Punjab village of Samrala in Ludhiana district 1912 when India was still under British rule. A graduate of Aligarh Muslim University, Manto began his writing career with translations, followed by a productive stint at All India Radio, where he wrote several radio plays. Thereafter, he began writing scripts for films in Bombay and published several short stories. It was during this time, however, that India gained independence, a victory marred by tragedy of partition. The partition was brutal and bloody, and to Mando it appeared maddeningly senseless. It was this senseless tragedy that propelled Manto to produce some of his most unforgettable work. Today, he is best remembered as the greatest chronicler of this most savage episode in subcontinent's history. The Dog of Titwal is a poignant satire about a stray dog caught in crossfire of partition. The story opens on a pristine landscape with a sweet smelling flower and soldiers singing songs and drinking tea. A stray dog disrupts general peace with its barking. The stray dog invites many reading, among which the most obsessive one is a question of its identity. The situation of dog as a stray is an analogy for millions of families that were made homeless by partition. The sense of trauma at the dog's sudden reversal of fortunes percolates through the use of words like the two sides, Hindustan and Pakistan, Sikh and Musalman, this side, that side, and so on. Identity in this story is determined and defined by one's belonging to a particular nation. Geographical boundaries, which determine a nation's identity, also determine the identity of those who live within those lines, drawn by the powers disinterested in the fate of real lives affected by partition. For some time now, the two sides had been entrenched in their position on the front. Over the course of a day, the sound of firing would be heard, some 10 or 12 times from either side, but no human cry ever accompanied its report. The weather was extremely agreeable, the air infused with the scent of wildflowers, and on the heights and the slopes of the hills, nature, oblivious to the sound of war, went busily about her duties. The birds squalled, the flowers plumed, and the hovering drowsily over them in their same old way. Slow moving honeybees sucked out their nectar. When the sound of firing rang through the hills, the squalling birds gave a start and took to flight, their hearing hurt, as if a hand had struck some discordant note. The end of September generally embraced the beginning of October. It seemed as if heat and cold were being seamlessly reconciled to each other, and over clear blue skies, like bits of carded cotton or white budge rose, light feathery clouds scudded by. After a while, the soldiers of both sides grew vexed that no decisive result had presented itself. When at length they tired of lying about, they felt the desire to make themselves heard. That no one was listening was unimportant. They would remain flat or face down on the stony ground, and on receiving the order, fire once or twice into the air. Both friends were in very secure places. The bullets would come singing at a full speed, collide against rock face, and be distinguished. The two hills on which the friends stood were similar height. Between them lay a valley over whose green clad breast a runnel ran, breathing over it like a snake. There was no danger from airplanes, neither sides possessed cannons, so both sides would fearlessly light fires whose smoke rose and mingled in the air. At night, silence prevailed. though the soldiers of both sides would occasionally hear someone's laughter at some little bit of fun, or else song of another who, having caught the mood, could disturb the quiet of night. And from behind, when a returning echo was heard, it was as if the mountains were learning a lesson by rote. A round of tea had ended. In the stone stoves, the light pieces of pine coal had practically gone cold. The skies were clear, and there was a chill in the air. It was free of smell of flowers, as if they too had closed their perfume boxes for night. As a result, the atmosphere was infused with the sweet of pine resin, which was not unpleasant. Everyone wrapped in blankets lay asleep through all were ready at any minute to race, fight, and die. Corporal Harnam Singh was on patrol. When the hour in his Raskov was struck 2, he awoke Ganda Singh and installed him in his station. He wanted very much to sleep, but on closing his eyes, found it as far as from him as stars of the night sky. Laying flat on his back, he warbled softly, "Bring me a pair of star spangled shoes." Yes, star spangled. Hanam Singh, oh darling, should it cost you your buffalo? On all sides, Arnam Singh would see star spangled shoes scattered over the sky and twinkling softly. Them star spangled shoes I'll bring you. Yes, star spangled. Harnam Kaur, oh darling, should it cost me my buffalo? He smiled, and knowing that sleep now would not come, he woke the others. The thought of a woman had excited his mind. He was in the mood to make inane conversation, conversion inane conversion through which he might relieve his feeling for Harnam Kaur. Talk did begin, but it was abrupt and disjointed. Banda Singh, who was the youngest among them and had the best voice, sat to one side as the others chatted, yawning now and then. After a while, Banda Singh, in his mournful voice, began to sing, "Here." Here said the yogi lied, no one specifies an aggrieved lover, or I searched and searched, but found no one who could call back the departed. A hawk lost a crane to the crow. Look, does he lament or not? Give not to those who suffer fond tales. Then a moment later he sang Ranja's reply to his word. That hawk that lost the crane to the crow is thankfully annihilated. He is like Fakir that gave up all his possessions and was ruined. Be contented, feels less, and God becomes your witness. Quit the world, wear the sackcloth and ashes, and Syed Varis becomes Varis Shah. As abruptly as Manta Singh had begun singing, he now fell silent, and in that instant it was as if the discolored mountains were draped in sackcloth and ashes. Some moments later, Corporal Harnam Singh, after hurling filthy abuse at an invisible object, lay down. Suddenly, out of melancholic air of that last phase of night, the barking of the dog ran out, making everyone start. The noise seemed to have come from quite near. Corporal Harnam Singh sat up and said, "Where is he shot up from? The yelper." The dog barked again. This time the sound was nearer still. A moment later there was a rustle in bushes. Banta Singh rose and walked towards the sound. When they returned, he was accompanied by a stray dog wagging his tail. Banda Singh smiled. "Corporal Saab, when I questioned him, he said, I am Chappat Junjun." Everyone laughed. Corporal Harnam Singh kissed the dog Come here, Chopper Junjun. The dog, still wagging his tail, went towards Harnam Singh and, thinking perhaps that some food had been thrown in its direction, began sniffing around the ground. Harnam Singh opened his satchel and, taking out a biscuit, threw it at the dog.